What's up, everybody? Man, it's your boy, your host with the most. Your boy Dub Q is in the building, and I'd like to take this time to welcome you guys to the Black Cat Panther podcast. Man, come on in the building, man. Look, I hate to say it, the Carolina Panthers, when it comes times to start, ranking these rosters, it's already been put out. It's already been seen how they look at us in the league. So make no mistake about it. We're gonna get into it as we do. The Carolina Panthers are being ranked right now in the bottom worst in the NFL by Bleacher Report. Now, and I quote, the bottom top, I'm sorry, not the top, but the bottom five worst in the entire NFL by Bleacher Report. So let's get into it as we do. Uh, Recently, the Carolina Panthers had a couple of articles put out about them, the roster, what's going on in this land. They named five teams that was in a bit of a funk that looks to stay in a funk and probably for the foreseeable future, maybe in a year or so, will still be in that same funk. Uh, Outside of their top five, I like to do the honorable mentions that they had right here, which they had listed the Tennessee Titans. And we all know Tennessee Titans is a young team up and coming. They got DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, Tyler Boyd. They went and got some tackles and stuff like that this offseason. And they got a young rookie quarterback. Well, he's not a rookie anymore, but a young up and coming quarterback in Will Levis. So this is crazy that Tony Pollard has been brought in here. The offensive line was a major problem for them last year, but they sit outside at number 6. Coming on in to number 5, the Arizona Cardinals. You got to look at what the Arizona Cardinals did in this offseason. They got a $200 million quarterback right now with Kyler Murray. Look, 26 years old. He had 15 games with an ACL tear last year. He came back off a major low of a 47.2 of his QBR last year. So it was a lot of underwhelming play that came out last year in Arizona, mostly due to one, his offensive line, one, also playmakers around him, as well as what they had defensively on that team. The team was just not a good team last year, but still yet, judging what we saw, it was a little bit better than the roster that you saw of the Carolina Panthers. They had a bottom 5 offensive line easily last year. And then, like I said, they got a built-in defense. They were 25th last year in total defense, 31 in points allowed. But like I said, Jalen Thompson, Buda Baker, B.J. Ojolari, Javen Collins, they combined only for 7.5 sacks. They're a team that looked to build this roster completely around and get a little bit better for the foreseeable future. And then they spent a lot of money on some draft picks this year. They had over 11 this year. And so they really built a young nucleus around this quarterback in the vision that they see fit. So that was the number 5 team. Number 4, the New York Giants. Woo! When I say the New York Giants, I know one name automatically comes off the bat for Carolina Panther fans. Yes, Brian Burns. Look, new addition to go over there. Quarterback Daniel Jones had his extension a couple of years back, 2 years ago. We're going to fast forward. Really, I thought that they were going to take a quarterback in this draft because I thought the Daniel Jones era was going to be gone. But they went and they got weaponry to go around him. Malik Neighbors, which was the number 6 overall guy for them this year. They went ahead and made sure that they got him. The Giants didn't have a true number 1 receiver in a while, probably since Odell, because they had Kadarius Toney and some guys, but that didn't work out. We all know how that went. And so running back is now a question mark because they got Devin Singletary trying to fill the void of Saquon Barkley. But like I said, the offensive line surrendered 85 sacks a year ago. A staggering 85 sacks. That's ridiculous. We had 62, 63 with Bryce Young, and everybody was complaining about how bad our offensive line looked. Try having 85 sacks a year ago. So let's get to it as we do. They pair Brian Burns with Kayvon Thibodeaux, which gives them 2 imposing edge rushers, which is explosive. But you know, they still lost Xavier McKinney. So this defense is going to be a young and up and coming defense for the Giants. They have a lot more questions on the offensive side of the football. Like we just said, you got Malik Neighbors coming in through the door. The offensive line is a little bit in shambles, and you lost Saquon Barkley. So it's interesting to see how they bounce back from this and see who can step up in the absence of. The Giants sit at number 4 with one of the worst rosters. Number 3, the Washington Commanders. They sit at number 3 because the news is they got Jaden Daniels in the number 2 overall draft pick, and the expectations is he's gonna come out and probably start week 1. But when you're starting a rookie, like I said, he's a young guy. He's confident in his abilities. He said it on multiple occasions. He feels like he's ready. He's ready to start week 1. So I think once he's put out there, this young guy is going to come into his own. I mean, he got Terry McLaurin, he got Austin Eckler, he got some, like I said, he got some pieces over there. You know, they got that offensive line straight over there in Washington as well, and they just built a defense with Bobby Wagner, our very own Oos. Oh my God, I get sick every time I think about it, man. Frankie Louvu went over there, but yeah. Frankie Louvu is over there. Jeremy Chin from here is over there. Like I said, they got nice little pieces in that defensive back room. I'm curious to see what it would look like once it's all put together. I think they'll have maybe a top 15 defense, and they'll have potentially a sturdy offense for a young fella to come into. So like I told MDJ, one of my counterpartners, the Washington Commodores could be competing for that division within, if not this year, maybe next year. They'll be competing for that NFC East spot over there, because between Philly and Dallas, I don't think any of them boys, everybody know Philly has a better roster, but as of late, because of culture, they have been in the backfield. They have been in the back. They can't seem to ascend to the front. Dallas has quarterback issues, and like I said, instantly, if you look at the NFC East right now, Jalen Hurts is number 1 at quarterback, but I hate to tell you, I don't want to be disrespectful to Dak Prescott, but Jaden Daniels is probably knocking on his door right now as we speak as the second best in that entire division. I mean, well, yeah, because the Giants quarterback, I'm going to put him he'd be knocking on the door right now, coming in. Jalen Hurts is the best. Jaden Daniels, I would say, would be tied with Dak Prescott right now as a rookie. And that says a lot about what Dak Prescott is as a quarterback, that a rookie coming in is on almost the same level as him. It's interesting to see. But I'm going to say this right here. Washington has a lot of potential. And their coach, Dan Quinn, could come out here and have probably one of the top defenses. It's always been about with Dan Quinn, can he put it all together? And he's been a coach that we've seen in multiple occasions get multiple opportunities and miss the mark. But that's for another day. That's not the here nor the there today. We're going to get down to number 2. Number 2, they have the Carolina Panthers listed right here. And this is what they say, and I'm quoting them verbatim. They said the best thing that could be said about the 2023 overall season is it's over. The Panthers mortgaged their future to select quarterback Bryce Young, and then they promptly threw him into the wolves in a way of help. There's a new regime in town in 2024. The general manager, Dan Morgan, Dave Canales, has at least made an effort to change that a little bit this year. Carolina acquired Deontay Johnson and trade with Pittsburgh, brought wide receiver 𝐥𝐤𝐬, running back Jonathan Brooks in within the first 2 days of the draft. And Johnson told reporters that he intends to offer Young a go-to target this year. Be mindful, everybody, Deontay Johnson, everybody been sleeping on him and what his impact could be here, but this is something that we're gonna have to talk about sooner or later. Deontay Johnson is slowly fading out of the picture because you hear more about 𝐥𝐤𝐬 You hear more about Adam Thielen, and you hearing less about Deontay Johnson. And as we were told, one of the number one separators in all of football, a good receiver. When last had a decent year, he had like 1,100 yards, and then he had an 800-yard season. But everybody keeps showcasing the drops that he had. So I'm just concerned with what version of Deontay Johnson we're going to get. Look, they put a lot of stuff around this guy this year. I believe, to me, there's no more excuses. And they also go on in this article to talk about the skill position players, but despite that, the offensive line, Damian Lewis, Robert Hunt, we got bolstered up in the offensive line, but still ranked in the bottom 10. And then it said, and the bigger problems get much bigger on defense. Carolina lost multiple key players from last year's 4th-ranked defense in terms of yards allowed. Edge rusher Brian Burns, who led the team in sacks last year, was traded to New York. Linebacker Frankie Louisville, who led them in tackles, left in free agency, replacing Procure in 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞 and 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐤, but both are downgrades. A defense that was somehow top 5 in yards allowed, bottom 5 in points, and didn't improve. Neither did the team as a whole, at least not by the eye. Now, this is what they put out on Bleacher Report. We have the 2nd worst roster in all of football. And they have here sitting at number 1, the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots, they're saying, after 2 decades have fallen mightily. They're sitting now with the worst roster in football. They're saying also quarterback Tom Brady, has left. Belichick has left. It's a new era. Gerard Mayo is in. They have some talent on defense like edge rusher Matt Judon, Devon Goddard, safety Kyle Duggar. Then you look offensively, like I say, they got the guy in at quarterback, man. Drake May is the guy. I have no quarrels about that guy. Think about it, man. Drake May is going to come potentially turn that offense all the way around single-handedly. Ramondre Stevenson is still a capable running back in this league. The team number 1 receiver is Demario Douglas. That's a little tough right there. That receiving corps need a little bit of help. But they have the weakest assemble of pass catching talent in the NFL. They have the worst wide receiving corps in all of football. So that's the number 1 thing right there for a young quarterback, Drake May, that's coming in there. He's going to have to help uplift that entire team. And we're going to see if he's up to the challenge. Do he have what it takes to make them better? It's somewhat what you expect when you're picking high in the top 3 to 5 in that draft, and you look at the select a quarterback. You're expecting to get somebody that can come in and uplift your entire franchise. That was the expectations for us last year when we went in the top 5, actually number 1 overall. The expectation was to get a guy that could come in, bring in, and uplift the talent that's around him, no matter who it is. That's why you go so high for a quarterback. You need someone that could be a difference maker. But for us to go number 1 overall, then look at this roster, make all the improvements that we made on the offensive line, make all the improvements that we made in the draft, especially at the skill position players and tight end with Jatavion Sanders coming in, with Sanders, Brooks at running back. Then you look at 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞 at receiver. Deontay Johnson was traded and brought it in. And then you look at this defense. Like I said, you move a lot of pieces around, and you end up getting what you get right here, which would be a serviceable defense and a competitive offense if you can put it all together. But it still has us as the 2nd worst team because talent-wise, you need more star power. We got a lot of B+ players, but we need more star level caliber guys that could come out, make impacts, and be, slated to be somewhat the best at their position. You need guys that could come out here and be dominant. And we don't have that right now. Right now, we got a lot of young blossoming guys. So all I'm going to say right now, I put the list out there. It's on Bleacher Report right now if you want to go watch it. They ranked the 5 worst NFL rosters ahead of OTAs. So the Carolina Panthers they have sitting at number 2. Just in case you're wondering, look, it wasn't me. I just thought that I would give y'all the real. The real is no look like the last 2 years they've been spot on when they've been ranking us 31 or either 32 in the power rankings. And that's because they don't see the talent that we have, and everything is predicated off of, the roster, the talent, and the quarterback play, as well as the coaching as well. So in those 4 areas, if you're a little bit lackluster or underwhelming, you're going to get ranked very low in those areas if it don't seem like you having any improvement. So I'm curious to see, can we come out and change the tides of this? Is this something that we can bounce back and hopefully get these guys to change their mind on? Because good play will come out and change everything. If we can come out and showcase good play, but they're looking at also, hey, strength of schedule, all that stuff's going to be coming up, we may struggle. So it's your boy 𝐥𝐤𝐞, the Black Cat OG. Man, make sure you do that illustrious favor and like the video, comment, and subscribe down below. Like I said, I put this out there. The Carolina Panthers have the 2nd worst roster in all of football. And it's not me saying it, it's Bleacher Report. It's the NFL league that put us out there. So do you think that they are accurately putting us in this picture right? Or do you think that we off? Now, we said last year we thought that they were off, and we come out and we win 2 games. So looks like to me they were a little bit accurate last year. So same thing is starting to come back out this year about this roster. So that means there's going to be a lot of tampering expectations around here. So I don't want to dim nobody's lights. I don't want to, piss on nobody's parade. But we just got to make sure we keep it realistic and understand what we're looking at on this team and evaluate this team in the right light to make sure that, one, you don't get your hopes up too high for something that you can see coming down the road. Because if you can adequately see, what's going to happen here, you won't be so disappointed. So come on in, man. Subscribe to the channel and do us the favor, man. Pull up.